For those of you who are experts or coaches out there, there's this moment where you grapple with how much credibility am I going to share and how much vulnerability am I going to share? There's this fear that if you're asking people to pay you for your expertise, but you're a fucking hot mess, like why would they hire you, right? I even remember in my early days, I literally had colleagues who were way farther ahead than me, made way more money than me, like making $1 million a year, easy, more. And they were reading my emails and they were like, you're saying too much. You don't say so much. They're not gonna hire you. They're not gonna trust you. Fast forward 15 years and we're in a world where, there's AI, like, is it even a real person? Like there's so much fake out there that vulnerability and transparency is a real asset, And so I've just always, maybe it's just that I'm just not intelligent enough to remember who I lied to and who I told the truth to. So I can't keep track. So I just tell the truth. This is who I am. When I'm masterful, I'm masterful. And when I'm a hot mess, I'm a hot mess. And people who have met me, they're like, you're the same in real life as on your videos. I'm like, yeah, because that's just how it is. I'm just me. Okay, going into our podcast today with Jenna and Brad. They walk in, they're like, they have the look, they're gorgeous, they're tall, they're dressed so well, they got all the things. And I'll admit, I had one little moment where I'm like, I wonder if they know how to go deep. Clearly they know how to do what they do and they're gonna share great information for you. But I was really wondering, were they gonna be real? And I was so grateful and blown away by the level of vulnerability that they shared. And they are very similar to me. They really own their credibility, but they're willing to share their vulnerability too, of their journey as a married couple, how they met, dated, worked together, the questions, were they gonna stay together for the long haul or not? And what did it take for them to make that decision? So I can't wait for you to hear this delicious and vulnerable conversation with Jenna and Brad. Beautiful sister, take a breath with me. Oh, when was the last time you felt really grounded in your body, still in your mind, truly in love with yourself? Not fixing yourself, not striving to be different, just loving your sweet self exactly as you are. I know you've probably been strong for everybody else, yet this is your moment now, an invitation to be there for you. To say yes to not just the bare minimum, but your real needs, to listen to the truth of your body, to slow down and hear the deepest truth of your heart, to face what you've been perhaps avoiding so that you can embody your authentic feminine power. And you don't have to do this alone. Like so many others before you, we can partner in divine sisterhood. The divine feminine way is to collaborate, to open our hearts together into the glorious, great unknown, the mystery. So I invite you to go to allanapratt.com/connect and book a call with me today. We will get through any shadow to the light of your fullest glory together. Promise. Welcome to Intimate Conversations, Season 14, Dark Night to Divine Light, because we both know intimacy is an inside job. Hello and welcome to another episode of Intimate Conversations. Here we are, Season 14, from Dark Night to Divine Light. And every time I say divine light, I know it's from within, but it looks really good when they come in this gorgeous into the podcast studio as well. This is Jenna and Brad Ballard. They have been referred to me by our dear friends Preston and Alexi. Here I am in Austin, wanting to share love stories and share how our love of ourself and our purpose weaves together in beautiful relationships. So let me tell you about them. So Jenna First Phillips Ballard is a visionary leader, a transformational coach, an artist who empowers the world's most influential change makers to live in alignment with purpose, prosperity, and love. She's the founder of I Am, that needs an ass slap, I Am, a global movement that bridges personal growth, spirituality, and creative expression. And through her upcoming book, I Am Her Now, the Admit It podcast, a signature oracle deck, and transformational lifestyle products, this woman does it all. A former celebrity trainer turned leadership expert, Jenna and her husband Brad are co-founders of Ascension Leadership Academy, ALA, kind of like Allana, ALA, in 2016. And Brad's also the founder of Fast Lane Drive, which is perfect because you all know I'm a tire biter, love beautiful vehicles. This couple has transformed thousands of lives and raised over $4 million for charity. Now based in Austin, Jenna channels her message through music, merging empowerment and pop EDM to, I only know what EDM is because of my assistant Amanda, so I'm cool right now, to inspire people to rise, heal, and embody who they came here to be. JennaPhillipsBallard.com. Welcome.
Hello.
Wow. Hi.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh my goodness. Yes, my pleasure. So as I was going through your site and the near death or the fall, like I was like, holy crap. Like this bio says what you're doing now, but there is quite a backstory to your lives and defining one another. So maybe Jenna, will start with you. Share your journey to become who you're being in the world right now.
Okay.
Please. Yeah, take your time.
So since you asked about the fall, when I was 17, I was navigating a lot of really dark thoughts.
Yeah.
My parents had divorced. I experienced a lot of bullying all throughout middle school and high school. And I found myself at the age of 17 wondering what my purpose was, if I mattered.
Yeah.
And I used to lay in bed at night and wish that I could witness my own funeral because I believed that I didn't fit in, I didn't matter. And that's the I am that I carried with me, that I would describe myself in that way. And so I wanted to see if I were to die, who would miss me? And I would obsess about it. I would think about it, not knowing anything about the power of my thoughts.
Right.
And I got to the point of really realizing how dark that was. And I actually didn't want to die.
Yeah.
But what if I could be in some kind of an accident that would be serious enough for me to be in the hospital, in the ICU specifically? Then I'll see who's going to show up to my hospital room, and then I'll have the evidence, and then I'll know who actually cares about me.
Whoa.
And I was preparing for the biggest party of the year that I was hosting at my house. And we were decorating. We had a big barn on the property, and we were decorating. We were in the hayloft, and I was up there with my friends, and we were sweeping and cleaning and organizing and just decorating the whole place. It was going to be an extraordinary party. And I was hanging sheets on the ceiling, and I was walking backwards, and that's the last thing I remember because I fell through the opening in the floor, fell 14 feet, landed on my head on concrete, in a coma, rushed to the ICU. The doctors were doing routine blood work on me and just basically looking at the worst case scenario. And what they were saying to my parents was, we don't think that Jenna's going to wake up anytime soon. And when and if she does, she'll likely never be the same. And so they were right about the last part because I miraculously woke up the next day and I was in the ICU and had short-term memory loss. So I had no short-term memory.
Wow.
And I also lost the majority of my vocabulary. So what was at one point a strength of mine, communicating, expressing myself became really difficult for me.
Wow.
And again, I just kept forgetting why all these people were showing up and where these people were coming from. I mean, so many people came to visit me that they had to turn people away.
Wow.
And it just was so, it was like I woke up basically a different version of myself.
Yeah.
I was looking at the world through a different lens, and I remember feeling so grateful and so happy and just so content with myself. It was almost like I really needed a knock on the head because I was not hanging out with the right kids. I was smoking weed every day, smoking cigarettes every day, self-medicating,
Wow.
and not really knowing that what I was seeking, what I was looking for was myself.
Exactly.
It was the love within myself.
Yeah.
And but I did what I asked for, because what I was seeking, what I was asking for was external validation.
Right.
And that's what I got.
Right.
However, that's not the thing that filled me up. It was like a reboot for my entire system. I mean, I definitely needed it. But I also was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and me now understanding the symptoms of high blood sugar levels, I now know that that's why I was feeling so lethargic and so tired and so depressed and just really clouded focus. And but it was a blessing because that diagnosis really got me into health and fitness. And then right before I left the hospital, the doctors were saying to my mom, we don't think that Jenna's going to be able to graduate from high school on time because she has really significant brain damage. It's going to be a long road for her.
Yeah.
So she shouldn't even try. I mean, those are the words. And I'm like, do you want me to do something? You just tell me I can't do it.
Yeah,
so I was so committed in that moment. That's where I really started to understand the power of I am.
Yeah.
Because I said to myself, I couldn't put my thoughts into words yet, but I said, I am going to graduate from high school on time. And I did. And when I got home from the hospital, my parents brought me into my room and my whole room was covered in banners. The whole school had signed it.
Oh.
Jenna, we miss you. We love you. Get better soon. And when I went back to school, the marquee said, welcome back, Jenna Phillips. And I just had so much support and I applied myself. I really learned how to be resilient and I developed this new muscle I didn't even know that I had. And that's where I learned I don't have any quit in me. Because of that experience of something I really, really got to understand how to persevere. And I graduated from high school on time with the highest GPA that I ever had. And I became really passionate about health and fitness because of the diagnosis.
Yeah.
And fast forward, I became a personal trainer. My first private client was Ben Stiller. And I just really learned the power of manifestation and how to beam the energy of what it is that I desire. And so I did that for 10 years. I was a celebrity trainer for really incredible people in Los Angeles. And then I got to the place of wondering what my next thing was and also wondering why all of my relationships were failing, thinking I just kept picking the wrong guys, not realizing that who I was being was not working because I was just so in my masculine. And I wound up going through a series of personal development workshops and somatic trainings and really, really deep work. And I said, this is what I want to do. This is my next phase of my life because I was no longer passionate about the fitness stuff.
Yeah.
I love fitness, but not as a career. And then so I went through this process, and after I graduated, I manifested this guy because I realized I was like, oh, I actually get to stop hunting for my person because this masculine hunting energy is not working because I kept attracting really feminine men. And
I was going to say beta men, right?
They exactly what they were. So I was definitely wearing the pants in all the relationships.
You got sexy pants, I will say.
I mean, I like mine, but but I wear a lot of dresses around this guy.
Okay.
Anyway, so I realized that I get to be found. I get to be found by an incredible man who will love, honor, cherish, and respect me. And I literally spoke those words out loud because something shifted for me. I realized I've been on this pursuit for my person, and I'm not creating the space for this masculine warrior that I'm wanting to be claimed by to find me.
Yeah.
And after I declared that out loud, he found me 3 days later on Match.com, and the rest is history. So, yeah.
Whoa! Let me just drink that in for a second. That was a fire hose. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So going back to 17 years old. I think I lost my best friend when I was 16. So that was my first wake-up call. Yours was your accident at 17. I love meeting souls who are here to evolve and transform. And it seems that it's not like we signed up, I'd like to fall out of a barn, or I'd like my best friend to die. But it sounds like you have been willing to lean in and do the work when you are presented with whatever challenge is there. And I can't remember the words you used, but I call mine as I'm a never giver upper.
Yeah,
like Dr.
never
Seuss
giver.
kind of.
I love that.
Yeah, it's the same idea that I have this insatiable desire to make lemonade out of lemons. So let's just take it into pieces. And I'll talk to you too, Brad. I'm sorry.
That's great.
Okay.
I tried to condense my story. I was like, I have so much to share.
No, you do. And it's so great. I just want to pick it apart. This desire to evolve through hardship, this desire to see, or this maybe not even desire, this capacity, this point of view to see a challenge as for you, not against you. Was that there prior to the accident, or did that?
No, I had no awareness of that. I didn't know anything about the law of attraction. I knew nothing about positive mindset. I mean, I wasn't given access to courses like that or literature like that, or even though my mom kind of embodied it, it wasn't really something that was really present.
Yeah.
But through the all of it, I mean, the diagnosis of the type 1 diabetes, it gave me such a powerful life path.
Yeah.
And it was in that whole experience that I realized that nothing happens to us, everything happens for us. It was actually the very first blog I ever wrote, and it was like 25 years old, for Mastin Kipp's The Daily Love. Do you remember that?
Mastin's been on the show. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I was one of his bloggers. Anyway, so it really became the foundation of a lot of my messaging and the way that I was coaching people and working with my clients, and just really my passion is for supporting people and realizing they can create whatever they want, you know, and I mean, I'm sure that you've had a lot of life experiences that were just devastating. I mean, I think every person's had that level of betrayal or sadness, heartache, heartbreak, devastation, grief. And through that whole experience of me really flexing that muscle and developing that muscle of being resilient, I learned even through my sexual trauma, really learning how to be a voice for the voiceless and speak about it and do my internal work, claim my power through forgiveness, and the freedom is for myself, not for them. But it was really through all those experiences. I now see that a lot of the heartache and the heartbreak and the trauma has all been just, it's texturized me as a leader. So I can really speak to people who've also experienced the same things.
Yeah. Thank you. While this was going on in her world, what was going on in your world? Like, I had my 16-year-old, she had a 17. When did you like wake up?
I think my journey, I didn't have a 2x4 over the head. I think mine can be most similarly related to what most people feel in, where it's a slow death and they don't realize it. Right. I professionally, when I came out, I was 21, started coaching soccer and coached in college, but was making almost no money. So I had this other corporate career path that I went through. And at one point I chose, and it was either choose my passion or choose money. Oh, okay. And I chose money and let it go of coaching, and began this path down through the corporate road. And I got to a point where I was 32 years old, and I had was working as a contractor and got a contract with MGM. And this would have been for at the time, the most money I'd ever made, the most responsibility. Yeah. And on paper, like, this was supposed to be it. Yeah. This was like, oh my God, I did it. Yeah. And I remember, signing the contract, shaking the hands, meeting my team, and, putting on the big smile, and, I'm so excited. Can't wait to do this. And I went downstairs, and this was in Beverly Hills. Yeah. I went downstairs in the parking lot. And at that time it was really sunny out. So I had my visor down, and it was open. And I remember looking myself in the eyes, and at that point, the only thing I wanted to do was cry. Wow. Because I knew I was miserable. Yeah. Like, the job that I was doing was absolutely sucking the life out of me. Got it. But I didn't see another way. I didn't see, like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? And at that time, being 32, the only thought was going through my head is like, do I have 30 more years of this? If this is what life is supposed to be, because I worked hard, I went to the school, I played the sports, I did what you told me to do. I got the good job. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was at that point I was absolutely miserable and stuck. And told her about it. We had just started dating, and interesting. She was pretty adamant that to get into the world of personal development. I'd done a lot of mindset stuff, but not a whole lot of like somatic personal development work. Yeah. And that going through that time started unlocking unlocking passion, unlocking joy. Yeah. And that became my North Star. It was really, really finding that for myself and standing for others. That became my mission on this planet, is to make sure that whatever people are passionate about in this lifetime, they do it. You go after that. This life is very, very short. It is such a gift. And for anybody that is, wasting it away, selling insurance, working for banking, God bless you if that's your North Star. But for most people, we are simply settling for a paycheck that gets us a life we don't really want, and surviving this life versus really living. And that's where mine was, my awakening.
So this is so curious to me, because clearly this is how I see it. I've been taught this, and I'm in agreement with it. Role mate. Like, I married my first husband because he was tall, dark, and handsome, and I was the tall glass of water, and that just really fit for each of our, egos or whatever, right? Okay, that didn't work. And the second marriage was, Mom was dying, and I wanted a baby to replace her, my best friend, right? So a man and a baby is a plan. Not very conscious, but that was the level of development I was at. And I've woken up all along the way. Like I said, my best friend died when I was 16. So there's been these invitations to feel. But I was so good at being dissociated and hypervigilant and overproducing and over-delivering and over-giving. And I could even just give. But I wasn't giving to myself. I wasn't balanced. I wasn't home. I didn't really know how to sit in the nothingness and be with my darkness and love her and be there. So what I'm hearing is you slow down enough to feel,
you were miserable. But also you were clever enough to go, maybe I should go on Match.com. Like, because I was really curious about that moment and when did she come into it? Because role mate, okay, we for money, for love, whatever the roles. Soulmate, I believe, are two wounds coming together, right? Trauma bonding, you complete me, I'm not enough without you, all still external. But whole mate, two whole people. And it's not 1 + 1 is 2, it's 1 + 1 is infinity. All the difference that you make on the planet, right? You're whole, not perfect, nobody's perfect, but two whole, and then you awaken the best in one another. What, Brad, inspired you in this best time of your life and the big contract and everything to go, I would really like a partner? I'm very curious. We women are very intuitive and know what to do, but how did you discover, or how did you choose? Because I betcha, I could be wrong, but I betcha your ability to slow down and feel the truth, I'm miserable, had something to do with the inspiration of a partner who gave you a little window into what else was possible.
Yeah, I wish I could say I was that conscious. At 3 years prior to that, I had divorced from my first wife.
Okay.
And I was getting back into the dating world because it was fun. And it brought joy, and it was something to do.
Okay, I hear I was thinking it was a big gig conscious.
Yeah, that's what I said. I wish it were that, and I would take credit for that.
No.
But truly, I think at this time, when you talk about God, Spirit, Divine having bigger plans,
Yeah.
if we were talking about, like on these dating things, you put a search profile,
Yeah.
your radius of
Yes.
this. She was not in my radius. I was in Orange County and she was in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And if you've
Geographic.
ever been to those two worlds, those might as well be like 5 states apart.
No, if you're on the other side of the 405, it's
Exactly. It's not going to happen.
100%.
Yeah.
It's long distance.
I know. I lived in LA. Yeah.
So something about her profile, as I was reading through it,
Yeah.
she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, but it was just the energy jumping off. She had pictures of her traveling and just really living life.
Yeah.
So I pinged her and we started this communication, but both of us were like, we're not real close to each other.
Yeah.
So we'll see what this is. And we began texting back and forth. And immediately she said, it was funny. She said, look, I'm starting this really clean diet where I'm basically going to eat clean, not drink alcohol, not do anything in my world. I was like, okay, no fun. For 90 days. And I was like, awesome. Text me day 91 and we'll do this.
Oh my God.
But she was also recording herself on YouTube every day, keeping like a daily vlog of what was going on.
Yeah.
So I had this unique perspective of seeing her without having to date. There was no risk on this, but you watch somebody record themselves and do something every day for something, you get a feel for who they are.
Yeah.
And we just kept texting and communicating, and it was really, really easy. And then she accidentally called me.
But dialed him?
No, I don't. I think I was having like a low blood sugar thing. I don't know what it was. But I'm like, just casually, just naturally, automatically, I'm just going to call Brad. And I'm like, I see that I'm calling him and he hadn't called. I was like, no.
We had never spoken.
And then he answered it. I'm like, hello?
Oh my
I'm
God,
like,
you've
hi.
never spoken?
No.
Only texting
at this point.
He's like, hey. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, but it was great. And so that, I don't know if we talked again, probably not, but like.
No, it's just like you were, I think you were in like a coaching certification.
No, I came out of NASM. I was doing I was doing that. I think I was actually pacing in Whole Foods. I now remember where I was in Santa Monica. I was pacing. I was like, because I'm like, no, wait, that's so masculine. Let me get the first to call. I can't do that.
Oh my God, that is so masculine.
But and it was so on accident too. But we just literally texted every day, and he never missed it. I woke up to a text message from him every single morning.
Wow.
And I remember saying to one of my girlfriends, I was like, is it weird that I'm falling in love with this guy I've never met over text? I'm like, what's happening? So yeah, it was a really, really fun, playful way. But how many days did we text before we officially met?
82.
Yeah.
And the reason we know that is because part of her daily vlog on our first kiss, she's like, oh shit, I have to do my video.
So right after.
Did you vlog about how good of a kisser
No,
you were?
but I said, you need to film me. We're on the beach and it's pitch black, but obviously we've got, the light, and then I am beaming and melting and just so excited because my knees buckled when he kissed me.
Wow.
And so it was just a really sweet moment. And, it was, and by our second date, we knew that we'd be married someday. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I love this Because on some level, our wounds or our inability to be alone, or you'll complete me, or we just rush. I'm just going to say in general, as society, we rush so quickly into, literally on the front page of my website, it's called Become the One to Find the One. Because I've been trying to find the one and I've had 2 divorces and it's not going very well. So reverse engineering this, you kind of reverse engineering love through, thank God, Orange County and LA, but consistency, truth, vulnerability, patience, non-attachment. You started to fall in love. What a wonderful way. Back in the day where you'd write a letter and put it on then they'd ride off on the horse and give you the letter 3 months later. These beautiful love stories through patience and slowing it down. Often with my clients with lovemaking, it gets very just perfunctory. And it's like, well, have you slowed down to just trace her collarbone or to look in their eyes? It's like the slowing down. It's almost like the beginning of your relationship created a foundation of truth and connection. And then the first kiss, we gotta have a good kiss.
Oh, it was so good. And I love what you said about 1 + 1 = infinity.
Yeah.
The theme at our wedding was 1 + 1 = 3, because he's a whole complete person. I'm a whole complete person. Together we create this third entity called our relationship.
Yes.
And so we gave each other a little look because it was just so sweet. It was we really, really stand for people.
Yeah.
Couples to know that they're whole and complete, and if you're searching for someone to be your other half, like when we hear people say this is my other half, it kind of makes me a little nauseous. Because what's that to indicate is to indicate that I'm not whole unless this person is a part of my life.
Well, I did that. It doesn't work.
No. I've done it too, so I absolutely know that does not work whatsoever. And the power of contrast is such a clear indicator of what you don't want, and then it has what you do want become ever more clear.
Totally. Okay, so you kissed.
Yes.
And you still are geographically undesirable, living in these 2 different places. What did you do about your job? Did you follow through with it? Did you quit? I'm curious, that moment of...
I saw that out. So that was, that contract happened probably 6 months after our first kiss at that time.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was just looking for change. I was looking for something different.
Yeah.
I had started to consider where a job up in LA could take us.
Okay.
And at that time we were talking, and first date it clicked. Second date it was like this is something that I knew this is either going to be something like long term that's going to work out, or this is going to be marriage and this is going to go, but this isn't going to be something that's just like a couple dates and we're done.
Right.
And we both dove in. We were like, look, I see a future in this.
Yeah.
I see a long-term here.
Yeah.
We're both adults.
Yeah.
Why don't we move in and find out if we're compatible or not?
Right.
And let's do. So I moved up to LA. She had just gotten a new place. And it was big. It worked for us. I was like, great. So we moved in together 3 months, 2-3 months.
I think it was just a couple months.
Yeah. And then from there, I had a contract with there, finished up, and then MGM was right after that.
Wow. So this is a fun question. What was really annoying about him that turned out to be a gift to help you grow? Because at first, change, but to me, when we're in this figure 8, right? They awaken dormant evolutionary qualities in us, and those aren't always fun ones till we get through it. So how do you
know what story I'm going to tell?
There's probably many. You're welcome.
No, but the one. Okay, so he was working for Dun and Bradstreet initially. Were you working? Was that after?
No, that was after MGM.
Okay, so after MGM, he was working for Dun and Bradstreet in Malibu, and we lived in the Palisades, like 2 seconds from the beach. And actually, when Palisades was burning down,
I was going to say, do you still?
No, it's gone. It's gone.
Your place,
it's gone. So, so I was right next to the Self-Realization Fellowship Lake Shrine. We lived in the condo complex, like right there next to it, and the Lake Shrine survived, which is such a miracle.
Wow!
But
everything around it burnt down.
So that's a vibration
spiritual
for you.
Bubble.
I mean, wow. So, I remember he would stop. He would go on his way to work every day. Sometimes he would stop to get breakfast somewhere, and I don't remember what it was for, but I was looking for something in his car, and I found a receipt on this floor, and I picked it up because I was just trying to organize his car. And I'm super, super organized, and he's not as organized as I am. So that was the thing that was like, oh, so I'm organizing his car and cleaning it. And I see this receipt, and I realized that he'd stopped at 7-Eleven and bought a Monster Energy drink and Pop-Tarts for breakfast. And I was like, no. And it was like
guru.
It was like just as bad as finding a girl's phone number.
Yeah,
I was like,
can imagine.
this is my future husband. What is this? So we had a little chat about that.
Did you text him immediately?
I was like, I don't remember how I
all you need to do is
responded.
take a photo and just, that's enough. I found it.
It's like, we're done. But it really invited me to, how it supported me was, because I had this vision of being in a relationship with someone who loved biohacking as much as I love biohacking, and love fitness and eating well, and you know, would love to put bee pollen on the smoothie, like all that, like the little things, you know, all the things. And he's from Iowa. He's like, that's not in his wheelhouse yet. It wasn't yet.
Bee pollen on the Pop-Tart.
Right, exactly. That would have just made it all. That would even it out. But I really, how that elevated me was I really got to practice patience and be an invitation and just create this environment and expose him to more things. And that's evolved significantly since that day, because he's like, he now knows more about peptides than I do. I'm like, who is this guy? I've created a monster. But he's super fit and healthy and sexy. I'm like so incredibly attracted to this man. And I just love to have this healthy lifestyle with him. We work out together. It's just been a really beautiful evolution to witness him claim his worth through his fitness and the way that he treats his body. But yeah, that was
the beginning. No, but it also, so that's all true. And I'm also hearing it invited your femininity.
It did, absolutely.
No judgment.
Right.
Invitation. Patience.
Absolutely.
No judgment. All of that. I like this. I like this. Okay, how'd she annoy you?
It's very particular. Liked her things. But you know what it awakened me to was it's easy to hold the big things at a level of excellence, but the big things don't happen without little micro decisions along the way, holding those in excellence.
Yeah.
And food being one of those things. Stand of excellence, it's like cleaning up. Like my car is usually meticulous, but there's other areas that just don't really, not my top priority.
Like his closet, for example.
Okay.
And my closet is organized by color, type of clothing. Everything is, all the hangers are matching. I mean, it's
now
Pinterest
the shoes
worthy.
are all,
It is like, I've got like clear shoe boxes for all my shoes. It's a whole thing. And I thought you were going to tell the story about when I cleaned your closet and the way that I reacted. I thought that was a good one. You got to share that one.
So
just one sec. Do you fold your underwear?
I don't do that.
Okay, good. Because you got a little.
That's a whole.
loose.
That's you gotta you gotta let things slip every once in a while.
Okay.
So I had come home and she's just kind of bouncing around and had organized my entire closet. It looked great. There's that. But I don't say anything. Words of acknowledgement are not one. It's like my lowest of low, so they don't register for me. So top of mind, they don't come from me naturally. And she's done a great job being patient with me and giving layups along the way, and that's why our relationship works. Additionally, though, if I feel I'm being manipulated at any given point, it's not going to happen. So we get in bed and all that, and she's basically just like, "You want to say anything about the closet?" I'm like, "Yeah, thanks." Like, don't you want to have a nice closet though? And I can see she's fishing for more than just a thank you on this closet thing.
Right, like, can you just change? No.
Doesn't really do anything for me.
I was like,
oh my goodness.
And
because his when he gets in his like, I'm gonna be right, like he doesn't budge, like he's very firm.
And that gave us an opportunity to work on communication styles. And,
like, was there sex that night? Doubt it.
How to resolve things in a way. And we just, it really did open up a process where we've learned each other's strengths and weaknesses. And that was a, not the birth, I'm sure, but a great example of now where we've practiced being on each other's teams so often. That's why our marriage works. Words of affirmations, like I said, is difficult. There are times when we're in a rush. My first thing is, are we going to be on time? Are we going to get there? Step into the masculine, like, let's get there. That's where I go. And if we're running late on time and she's coming out, there will be times when I don't acknowledge her beauty and the outfit on this. And instead of her just pouting about it,
Right.
she'll give me a layup and say, do you like the way I look?
But I'm super playful about it. I'm like, what do you think about my outfit?
Yeah.
So I create the experience of what I want
Yeah.
because the ego wants to hear it in a very specific way. My authentic self, I'm fine with however, just like, I'm just going to let you just decide, like just take a second to just acknowledge what I've been working on for the last hour.
Yeah.
And so we've worked on that consistently.
I like this.
Yeah.
This is so good. When we're literally empty, needing the other person to fill us, complete us, there's an attachment, there's manipulation, as you said, and strategy. And there's this sense of I can't rest, my nervous system can't rest until you're different or you provide this. But when we do enough inner work that you can, as you said, you could be playful. Like, what do you think of this outfit? Because you're not going to die if he doesn't say anything, but it would make you feel so much better if he would just, witness your radiance. What have your internal practices been so that you don't blame the other, rely on the other, get needy with each other? It truly is a gift. And you're each willing to do that and give for the greater good of the relationship. What are some like the core individual practices that allow you to be whole together and have this communication work and the coyness and all the rest of it?
I would say for me specifically, I don't think I've ever really named it, but if I really look at what I do if I'm in a moment where I'm feeling like I'm not getting something that I want from him, I really check in with how I'm actually feeling, how I'm physically feeling, the physical sensations. Is there like tightness in my chest? Is there like a ball in my throat? What am I feeling? And that's usually an indication that something is off, which is an indicator that there's something out of alignment with my highest truth. So I use that as my inner compass to let me know if I'm on track or if I'm a little wobbly or if I'm allowing this present moment right now to activate a trigger that reminds me of something from my past
that hasn't been integrated yet.
Right. So if I find myself in that space, I really get clear about what my highest self, what the future version of me, a fully embodied, conscious, courageous, beautiful, radiant woman, how would she respond to this moment? And I do an internal shift, i.e., what do you think about my outfit? And but even to him. I check myself first before, because I'm clear about the outcome that I desire. And I'm not going to create that if I'm sitting, pouting, sulking, annoyed, and frustrated. Like, why can't he see whatever? Because I know that who I'm being in that will ultimately create what I desire. And it's also really, the delivery is also really important as well. And I know that his level of excellence of being on time, which is early, by the way, he was 45 minutes early for our very first date ever.
You're very early. I wasn't even dressed yet. So yes, but thank you for being here
I
early.
had one eye of mascara that still needed to be put on. I still opened the door. I'm like, I'm not done putting makeup on. So you're going to see me not fully, but yes, come right on in. But he came with flowers and it was super sweet. So I know that about him. I know how important it is to him to be absolutely on time, if not early. And so, and I really appreciate that about him. That's something that I really admire and really respect about
reliable,
him. And like it's, if Brad is late, something is wrong. Like that's how adamant he is about being on time. That's how excellent he is with his word. And so I really just check in with myself. And like we had a point of contention last night. We had a conversation that I was not being present to what I'd been creating or generating in the conversation. And then his feedback to me allowed me, there was like a wake up moment where I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And we had our boys, we put them down. So I had some moments to kind of like really sit with it and think about it. And then when the boys were down, I circled back and I said, hey, and I was in full ownership. I said, I really want to acknowledge what you said, really landed, and thank you. And what you can count on from me moving forward is this. And because like, I know at the end of the day, we are on each other's teams, and we've talked about divorce a few times throughout our relationship. We've had really difficult moments, but we always come back to our love, and we know that we can work through anything. I mean, the craziest things we've experienced together, nothing can break us. And so we just that's my internal experience. I don't know what your personal hygiene is about that, but
yeah, I usually notice if there's friction in our relationship, that's usually because that's been the last stop on the train that I've been ignoring. At that point, I'm way too singular focused on mission and not enough on fun. And I'm expecting some exciting feeling or some sort of feeling to come from her, like make me happy, make me excited, make me on something like this. And I've noticed when I get into those points, that's when it's my job to go find the things that I enjoy and go do them. Because, when I think like anybody, when you're in joy and when you're in love with your life, you're a better partner. I'm a better father. I'm a better friend. And that's where it truly is like my job to do what I need. It's not her job to do what I need. It's my job. And that's, that is the primary reason why I created my company with Fastlane, is because I enjoy fast cars and I needed an outlet of play. So it's usually that is 100%. It's, I'm not taking care of me. That's and that's my job. That's my primary job.
This is so beautiful to hear. It's just such a blame culture. And to be able to say, when there is friction, go within. You feel somatically what's going on. You go within. Have I filled up my tank with joy? Right. And then come into the conversation from wholeness, not emptiness. And you need to complete me. I love this. If you'd be willing, what made you question calling it a day? And what got resolved, up-leveled, integrated to recommit, double down even stronger? If you'd be willing to share.
Yes, questioning it. What
caused the rift? You said before we almost got divorced.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep. What actually caused that?
Yeah, I would say that we were not acknowledging and fulfilling each other's love languages. Like there was just like this, and it was kind of like, I'm not getting my love language recognized or acknowledged or fulfilled or nurtured, attended to. So then I'm not available for yours. And there was just a lot of that. It's like, if I don't, if you aren't, then I can't. And there was a lot of that back and forth. And so we just really, and then there was resentment that was building up in that.
Of course.
And then evidence gathering and
tit for tat, all the
ammunition and like it's usually a very similar reason. I mean, anytime that we've come to that, it's been because of us not acknowledging and being present and just really celebrating each other's love languages, because they both matter. They're both just as important as each other. And so I know that it's almost like we're able to bounce back faster every time. And we're in a really good season right now and really able to communicate and share what's coming up for us. And so I feel very safe in our relationship. Like I'm able to be authentic and forthcoming about things that I'm noticing, navigating, and it's about making powerful requests. And then also, because we wear so many hats, I mean, we're business partners, we're co-pilots in all things life. We co-parent, we're best friends, we're, there's a lot of things. And there's also roles where he's the CEO of ALA. And so sometimes we're having a, CEO with the hired trainer conversation. And so there's that dynamic, and then making sure that we can be clear about the distinction of who's having this conversation. It's my husband's not talking to me right now. It's the CEO of ALA.
Different lanes.
And absolutely. So I would say that those are the things that tend to create friction or have created friction in our past. And then also when we're both in our masculine, because my default is not my feminine, and I love my masculine. I love it. It's supported me in so many ways. And I do also really love my feminine, because I get that that's my power, is in my feminine energy. So when we're both in our masculine and our unhealed masculine, and we're having a conversation, that's where the friction is really thick. And then at some point, one of us, usually me, decides 100%. To set the sword down and step into my feminine and just calm the ocean for a second. So
which to the nervous system can feel like terror.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, I'll put down the sword, everything's fine. It's like there's a lot to feel to surrender and put down a sword and step into the unknown and make a vulnerable request. It's very, very brave. What do you think this is curious to me, a lot of couples are super great, and then they move in and there's some tension. And then they have the first kid, some tension, second kid, tension, work together, tension. Are there any of these outside circumstances that take you off of that presence to give each other the love language? Like, were having kids and learning how to balance that a big challenge for you? Or were you like badass co-parents and not a big deal?
Well, I would say that, you want to start?
I would say we had, the dynamic of us going from just us worrying about our happiness,
Yeah.
to first child was a big change in our lifestyle. But at that same time, what we did not know is we were experiencing massive black mold poisoning.
Oh.
And this, you want to talk about nervous system deregulation.
Whoa.
We were both just like, man, they weren't kidding when they said you were going to be tired during, after the birth of your first child. That created a massive rift in our relationship, because both of us were just trying to keep our head above water for ourselves.
Wow.
And then any power that we could do, it was like, okay, our first son, Jax, he was obviously our primary. He's a newborn baby. And then us just trying to keep literally stay alive.
Wow.
And so our relationship was so far down the pecking order. That created a massive change.
Is that partly why you moved to Austin?
Big part.
Yeah, it's a huge. That was the catalyst.
Yeah.
And also we had a huge breakdown with one of our business partners. So it was kind of all of this all at once. We were our other business partner opened up a competing business offering the same technology in the same city with one of our graduates, and we were the last people to find out about it. So it was
betrayal.
It was that was the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life. I was just reading about this in one of the chapters in my book that's coming out next month, because I'm just going over some last edits, and so it's very fresh in my memory right now.
Yeah.
But that specific incident was it also brought a lot of stress into our relationship as well, because we had kind of different takes on it. It definitely impacted us significantly.
Yeah.
But how we were going to navigate it, I was like, burn it all down and like screw this guy, and he's like, well, so it was just a very challenging thing for us to also be on the same page with that. But we didn't know. I mean, this was the end of 2019 that we had our firstborn son, and then the next year, obviously, COVID. So California shut down. We couldn't do our trainings. We pivoted. We did online trainings, which worked for a little bit. It was a great bridge. But then we wound up just we finally physically, literally saw the mold after. We're like, this makes so much sense now. And we did all the tests, our house, our blood, everything. It was off the charts. I mean, so intense.
Whoa.
So I'm like, okay. So we were thinking about moving to Austin the following year, and we decided like, we get to go now. Like the universe could not be more clear.
Yeah.
Our chapter in San Diego was complete, and we just packed everything up and arrived in Austin. It's the best thing ever. So
It's been great.
Wow, another example of when you're a never giver upper.
I have no quit in me.
That you're going to look and, okay, what's right about this, and let's be a team. And that move really probably refreshed your commitment to each other, that we can get through things together, even if we don't agree. What would you say, Brad?
It did eventually, but my symptoms were showing up in a way where I wasn't fit to do much.
Wow.
I certainly could not run a transformational business. I couldn't run much of a business.
Wow.
It was just very difficult, very depressive on this stuff, and I needed her support.
Wow.
In that phase, and this was right before we had moved to really hold down the fort in this. And she's dealing with postpartum. She's dealing with all the same symptoms that I am.
Whoa.
So we moved to Austin, and at that point, she had hit a breaking point, and she was like, "Look, Tag."
Yeah.
You're it now. You need to run this.
Wow.
So it was at that point I grabbed the reins and ran this. And at both of those times, we were really, the marriage wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It just was.
Yes.
It was something that was happening.
Yeah.
And at that time, because what was wanted and needed was us to go on our own healing journey at this point, to get healthy, to do all that.
Yeah.
Our marriage stagnated at that point.
Yeah.
And it was, once the symptoms came down, once we started to figure out what was going on, once we back into our health, and we were able to really land at a new foundation of, what do we want this marriage to look like moving forward? What do we want our business? What do we actually want to be doing with our life? Like, we're done surviving. We're done treading water and keeping our head afloat for here. Like, we can actually plan now. What do we want to do?
Yeah.
And that was a moment where not from a point of contention, but really choice point in our marriage. What do we want to do? Because everything's fine. If we wanted to pivot, this could be a time that we could. It would make sense to.
Right.
But if not, what do we want this marriage to really look like?
Right.
Moving forward from vision, from planning. And that's when we really came back together, and Yeah, and started living, I think, for the first time as married with child and co-founders of the same business and the same vision. I think that was the first time we were able to actually live all three instead of like hope, wish, and want.
Well, what I mean, because you're both like fucking go-getters, that's clear, and never giver-uppers, that's clear, and willing to take ownership, that's clear. I'm hearing almost all of that perfect storm, shall we call it, sounds like it's shifted from ego will to divine will. Shifted from, yes, we've accomplished all this and we could accomplish more, but what really matters? And then, which has to be self first, slowing down and listening to self first, and then having that conversation. Because I'm sensing from that point forward, it was a lot more with the charity work and the supporting of others and deeper intimacy. Where did sexuality, sacred sexuality, touch, listening, breath work, tantra, I don't know if you have any of these practices that supported the grounding in your bodies, the listening to your hearts, and the co-creating God in, as, and through you, the divine in, as, and through you. Am I sensing this is the pivoting point where that new energy began to
I would say that was probably after our second son.
After your second son. Okay, tell me.
You know, women, God bless you, birthing our children and watching all that came with the new identity of Jenna. As I am mother. I've got this new body. I've got this new vehicle.
Yeah.
What do I want to be doing? And you know, really her going on this journey of which I couldn't do any of it for her. I was, you know, as supportive as I can, but us really getting committed to what we wanted our marriage, our sex, our sensuality, all of it to look like on this side of, okay, we're parents, like we're mom and dad, but also like we want to date each other. You know, she is my wife first before we were parents, and honoring that as well. And as we were aging, and how do we want to age? You know, we both were like, no, we want to be the best chapters ahead of us, not like looking back at our 20s and going, oh, like, no, like really being proud of who we are, and looking in the mirror and going, fuck yeah, still got it, and honoring that in us.
Yeah, the intentionality around our sexuality and our connection is really important to us, and I would say that was something that has also been one of the moments in our life when we were considering divorce, because that was not happening consistently, and we really got to reinvent that and recommit to that, and there was a season where we had sex like I don't know how many times a week, but I was like, I'm so committed. And I just made it just my intention to make sure that I was acknowledging his love language. And it's just been there's so many different seasons of it, and we're always really exploring that. And I love to be creative with him and explorative with him. And it's definitely something that is always going to bring us closer. So it's deeply important.
Thank you. With the people, I work with singles and couples, but certainly with the couples, if the sex is working, everything else tends to work better. And if the sex isn't working, everything tends not to work better. It's such a pure, pre-verbal, soulful, somatic, embodied, vulnerable, brave place to be, and not to have the outcome, but just to be. Yeah. So that there's like roots for the shoots. Yeah, that's really beautiful to hear.
We had a friend that works with couples as well, and I really believe in what she said. She said, you know, whether your love language is physical touch or not, or wherever you are in that spectrum, but she was like, from what I found, like what you're saying, she was like, the food that keeps a relationship alive is sex.
Yeah.
And if it's not happening, that relationship will starve.
Right.
And just like any other organism, if one of them are starving, they will look outside of whatever is available to find it, to stay alive. And, you know, I think it's for people that whatever, you know, calling you have towards sex, frequency and all that stuff, it's something that massively needs to be communicated within every relationship, intended to, such that it's really important.
Yeah, I love this. For me, with my clients, the sex that's a very small part of the whole sacred sexuality of the relationship, the foreplay and the texting, and then the eye gazing and Do you just hug in and out? Or are you like, can you stay? 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4. No, we're going to stay for 20 seconds. Wah! Hug it like twice a day, hug it out and just watch what happens with your nervous system and your connection and being seen and seeing and all of this. It's just, life can just be one beautiful, sensual, orgasmic experience that you get to have fun in the bedroom as well. But just to look across the room can just melt you when that is fed, as you said, food. I love this. I love this. Okay, we could talk forever, but I'm trying to be aware of time. I want to know how the singing has unfolded. I want to hear you sing, actually. I don't know if you'd be willing to sing a little something, but this expression in, as, and through you, based on all you've been through, individually and as a couple and with your business, why is this at the forefront now? Is it at the forefront now? Yeah.
Well, a lot of things. So, and I did also notice you got my older bio. My podcast is I Am with Jenna Ballard. So that was a recent name change. So totally on my communication. But a lot of things are being created right now. So I have my podcast, I Am with Jenna Ballard. And then I also have the music. That's something that's been alive in me for a while.
Yeah.
My music actually started back when I was pregnant with my first son.
Okay.
And I had all this creativity moving through me. I was due in 5 weeks and I decided I'm going to start a 4-week abundance course for women. I'm going to launch it like literally in a week. And I wanted
I'm out to here and it's all good.
I was so pregnant. I mean, so pregnant. And, but what was tapping on me was to create these abundance mantras for women. And because I wasn't really clear on the way that I was going to describe the whole program. But I had a friend of mine come over because he was a producer. And so I said, I want to create these songs. And so I just spoke into the mic. I closed my eyes and basically channeled 4 abundance mantras in one take. And then he created music to go with what came through me. And so I went and I launched the course. There were like 70 women who did it. And then I was pregnant or gave birth and then momming and molding and all the things, moving. And so when I was pregnant with my second son, I wanted to remaster the songs and make them Spotify worthy. And so we worked in these songs literally for 2 years. And then released those. And it was really fun because I saw myself really creating, like bringing this music into my signature talks and my keynotes. And so I wound up, then I got a very clear message from Spirit in a medicine journey. And Spirit said, you are the bottleneck at ALA. And you need to go all in on I Am and your music. And so my interpretation of that was we get to have a bigger team because we're so hands-on with everything because we care so much. The level of excellence is so important to us. So we got to really bring on a team and we basically doubled our company. I mean, it just went from, number of enrollments went up. As far as like students attending was like doubled in a matter of 9 months just by us. And he got to really focus on Fastlane. And so ALA was growing and I was focusing on all this stuff. And then I said, okay, I'm going to go on my music. I don't know what it means, but I'm going to do it. And I was at a networking event and we had 90 seconds to talk about the thing we're most excited about. And so I talked about my music and this woman comes up to me and she says, I feel like I should introduce you to my friend who was a manager for Miley Cyrus for 10 years. Maybe she can be your manager. And so we get on a call. She's like, I love you. I want to represent you. I'm like, okay. So then we're working together and she said, hey, have you ever thought about singing? I'm like, I can't sing. And she goes, anybody can sing. I'm like, except for me. She goes, no, but really, let me build the team around you. And I believe in you. And so it was really confronting and challenging because I got to overcome this lifelong belief that I can't sing. And then I wound up working with Justin Timberlake's vocal coach and I had all these songwriting coaches and I wrote 9 songs and trained my voice for 4 months and then went into the studio and recorded my first single. And then I released that last year at a single release. And so the song is out and I'm now pivoting because they were developing me as a pop artist, but I listen to 90s hip hop and EDM. That's what I listen to. So I'm doing a little pivot. And so now I'm just focusing on that and I'm collaborating with Justin Timberlake's DJ and we're making music together. And we have our first song together is coming out. It's the remix of Alchemist. And it's such a vibe. I actually want to, if you want me to play anything, it should be that because I would love a little insight, little preview. But it's so fun. And I feel so alive when I'm doing it. And I don't have maybe not the best plan about how to make it all happen, but I'm just like one foot in front of the other, figuring it out. It's all kind of coming together. The podcast is coming out, I think in the next couple weeks.
Great.
My book is coming out. I Am Now is coming out at the end of next month and more songs. So
more births.
Yes.
I love this. I definitely want you to sing. What's it been like to watch, I'm going to say, her even more authentic expression blossom?
It's inspirational to me as well. And we, for so long, for the majority of our relationship, we were doing everything together. Everything was ALA. Everything was for the mission. It was for that. In the 1 + 1 = 3, everything was for the 3.
Yes.
And we got to a place was, okay, that's stable. That's growing.
Right. What else is possible?
We have grown as individuals.
Yeah.
We have changed.
Yeah.
We are not, the ALA was birthed in, this will be our 10th year in business with that. But even the 2 to 3 years prior to that, where we were really developing ourselves in that, it was all for that mission. So in the, 13, 15 years that we've known each other, there was an opportunity to go, what do I want at this phase in my life? What do I actually want to do? What really excites me? And both of us being high achievers, it's been an opportunity to say, like, okay, what mountain do I want to climb right now? What do I really want to do that lights me up? So we've been in that season and that climb of the past, 2.5 years. And it's just been really fun to watch these other parts of ourselves really develop and
emerge.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. As I was explaining, like the figure 8, waking up dormant evolutionary qualities within one another by being your own ever evolving self. This is gorgeous. What's happening now, and I could interview you in 5 years from now, and it'd be like, I'm sure more, because we just lotus flower, like leaf after leaf. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank
you for sharing the journey of meeting one another, all the bumps, how you keep growing and evolving, how you slow down and listen, your commitment to communication, your commitment to excellence, vulnerability, and being whenever you're your best self, it makes the whole figure 8 weave even greater, deeper, wider. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And how old are the little ones?
4 and 6.
Okay. Mine's 23.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a great age.
It is.
It's just
they're so fun.
Yeah. I can imagine. Do they sing?
It's funny that you did this, because we were joking about last night. I said, you realize at some point
they're gonna
our little guys are gonna have a very deep voice, and they're gonna look down and you go, Mom. And it's,
Mine's 6'4", so big lefty pitcher. So
I love that.
Yeah. So seriously, can you sing a little bit?
Oh my gosh, what should I sing?
I don't know.
I mean, yes, I can sing.
And we find you on Spotify with your name. Your name.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So Jenna Ballard, that's my artist name and my all things name.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been really, really fun for me to just explore and play. And I guess I could sing my Alchemist song. But
just a little bit, just a couple.
You can sing the hook.
I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so funny. Like, I have such a hard time remembering. I need to look at my lyrics. I don't know what my lyrics
That's okay.
are.
I totally put you on the spot.
You are the alchemist. When the water pours, you can build a bridge. The power is all yours. Surrender to the magic and just look at what happens when you don't resist. You are the alchemist. Oh.
Yay! I love that. And I remember reading The Alchemist to my son.
Oh, it's my favorite book. Changed my life.
Right? So true. So in conclusion, I want all of you definitely to go to Jenna Ballard Phillips. Phillips Ballard on Spotify and her website. And ALA is still up and running and
very
thriving.
much so.
Very much so.
so.
So check out more about the Ascension Leadership Academy.
And they can go to alaeq.com to find out more.
Okay, alaeq.com, perfect. And your beautiful company with the Fast Lane Drive.
Yes.
What do you want people to do there? Just go.
Go to the IG, and if you played with Hot Wheels as a child and love that, and love adults that love to drive cars and be awesome. That's
okay.
What we built
Sounds great. And any cool trucks or just cars?
Mostly just exotic.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I still am a small town Canadian girl and like a guy in a truck, but that's okay.
We like them in Texas, though.
Okay, awesome. So I'm sure this conversation has awoken a lot in you, inspired a lot in you, maybe even triggered some places that really you need to slow down and have a look at, or maybe inspired, yes, I'm going to have that conversation with my partner and talk about love languages or talk about each of them. What is the next mountain you want to climb? When you finish this conversation, just take a moment and be still. Take a moment and connect in with the earth, connect in with your heart, and allow this beautiful couple, their story, to move you and move that trajectory. If you're a ship, you just turn it 1 degree, you eventually end up in a completely new land. And so allow this conversation to be an inspiration to your life. Thank you so much for being with us on Intimate Conversations. Until next week, all my love. See you next week on Intimate Conversations. Get out there and make love to life.
Wasn't it amazing that she even sang for us? She was not sure she wanted me to keep that in the show, to take it out or leave it in. And I'm really inspired by her that she was willing to let her authentic expression be heard, be seen, be out there. To me, that is such a step of bravery and humility to be authentic in a world where there's so few that are, where we don't even know what's real and not real anymore. So I so love her voice too, right? So please, in all the show notes, there's all the places you can follow them, their website, their socials, all of this, so that these two incredible people can be in your life. Please share this episode if it touched a part of you and you know somebody would really benefit from this conversation. Do all the things, please, like rate and review and subscribe, please, so that if you're not already subscribed to this podcast, that would be amazing. And also it just helps our algorithm so more people can benefit from these conversations. And lastly, I want to thank Jenna and Brad, because at the filming of this intro, even though we did this podcast way back when I was in Austin, Texas, I'm dating again. And I had been dating someone kind of long distance for a while, really practicing more of showing up absolutely unabashedly, absolutely authentically. And this little voice in the back of my head, oh, I'm going to get rejected now. Oh, I'm going to be too much now. I wasn't. I was loved and received, and that was really healing for me. And yet, about 6 months of saying hello to this, or getting to know this person, I'm like, what am I doing? I actually want to wake up beside someone. I actually want someone closer. So I'm still a work in progress, and now I'm dating. I actually have a date tomorrow night with somebody right down the road. I'm really proud of my bravery and vulnerability in the dating world. And so it was really great to see a couple who's not perfect, no couple is perfect, and what they've done to be themselves and repair ruptures and the foundations that do keep their relationship growing over time, and how they've navigated working together and parenthood and all the things and continue to evolve. It was very inspiring for me to continue to get out there and meet the love of my life, who I choose to co-create the most extraordinary existence with, for ourselves, for each other, for our family, and for humanity. So there we go. And all these little details that are a little bit more vulnerable than even my podcast or my truth transmissions on YouTube are found in the Intimate World on Patreon. This is where I go deeper about how I'm healing my relationship with my son after 6.5 years of estrangement, how I'm building the trailer for the podcast, and getting funding and living my dream. In case you are sort of trepidatious of really going for it, know that I'm no different than you. I don't know what I'm doing either, and I'm learning as I go, because it's worth it. It's worth it to not have that song die inside, but to go for it and embrace the mistakes and learn and pivot and grow and keep going when what the inspiration is for the betterment of humanity. So I want to be an inspiration for you in that way. And on Patreon, I am with you live every other week, answering your questions. And then also I'm creating videos every single week, Ask Me Anything, so that you're not alone. You matter. You matter to me. Supporting you matters to me. And being in a community, as we unite, we're stronger and we're better together. So that's patreon.com/Allana Pratt. We're calling it the Intimate World, where you go deeper every single week together. So I'll see you there. And again, Jenna and Brad, thank you with all my heart. Love you.